I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Lawyer up, Ted Cruz. Some new audio recordings of Ted Cruz giving a pre-interview on the Maria Bartiromo show has just surfaced on Ari Melber. It's a show on MSNBC. Ari Melber got these tapes of these pre-recordings where Ted Cruz was having the pre-recording interview with Maria Bartiromo. Melber got them from Abby Grossberg, who's the former executive producer at Fox, who's now suing Fox. She alleges that she turned over all this stuff to Fox's lawyers during the Dominion defamation trial, and the lawyers refused to produce it as evidence. And she says she was harassed and coerced and threatened by the lawyers. She also alleges a discriminatory and retaliatory workplace environment at Fox. Specifically, after she left Bartiromo and she worked at the Tucker Show, she alleged rampant discrimination against herself and other women at Fox. And her complaint listed like page after page of other examples of Fox discriminating against women and harassing women in the most heinous and despicable ways, all the way up to the top of Fox. I want to play for you this key portion, though, of some of these pre-recordings that Ted Cruz gave to Maria Bartiromo, because they are very, very, very damaging stuff to Ted Cruz, to Donald Trump, to all the people in Donald Trump's inner circle. And in these recordings, Ted Cruz in the pre-interview admits that what he was trying to create, and these interviews were done January 2nd of 2021. Ted Cruz is saying what he's trying to create is a special commission that's going to decide the results of the election. And the special commission is going to be appointed if the January 6th certification of electoral votes is blocked, so that the MAGA Republicans in the House of Representatives and in the Senate, what they would have to do is block certification, object to certification, and then they would call in a commission to make the decision about who won the election. They were basically trying to bureaucratize the coup and then throw the election to Donald Trump, to overturn a free and fair election. We have the receipts. It's all on tape. Here, this is Maria Bartiromo in this pre-interview with Ted Cruz, never heard before today on Ari Melber. And Maria Bartiromo goes, "So who's deciding who gets inaugurated as president?" And Cruz go, "Well, it's up to the commission." Play the clip.
Who's deciding who gets inaugurated?
It would be the results of that commission and what they find. And if they found credible evidence of fraud that undermines confidence in the electoral result in any given state, they would report on that.
Are you kidding me? It's up to the commission? This is the United States of America. What a traitor you are, Ted Cruz. It's up to the commission. No, it's up to the American people. This was one of the most safe and secure elections, probably the most safe and secure election in America's history. And you want to throw it to a commission so they could anoint Donald Trump, who's called your wife ugly and your dad a serial killer? You want to anoint that individual emperor? Are you kidding me? And by the way, there are more tapes here. This is another part of the pre-interview with Maria Bartiromo. And Cruz says, as we are looking into this January 6th certification, all options that were being discussed were problematic. But this commission idea we like. And what do you think about that? That Ted Cruz is saying in this recording I'm about to play for you that the other ideas were more problematic than appointing a commission to decide who was going to be the president after Biden won. What he's intimating there, these problematic issues, he's talking about there were plans for the violent coup. There were plans to violently overthrow our democracy. Play this clip.
As we were looking at this January 6th certification, all of the options that were being discussed were problematic. And so I wanted to find a path that was consistent with the Constitution, consistent with the law, and that addressed these very real serious claims.
This is more of Ted Cruz from the pre-interview talking about what this commission's going to do to give a credible assessment of these claims and what evidence shows and the mechanisms to try to force that is denying certification on January 6th. Here, play this clip.
I think that the country deserves to have a credible assessment of these claims and what the evidence shows. And the mechanism to try to force that is denying certification on the 6th.
And finally, this is also from the pre-interview where Maria Bartiromo asks, do you think that this has the potential to overturn the results? She's like cheering on overturning the results of the election through this unlawful commission process and the MAGA Republican senators blocking the counting of the electoral votes. Here, play this clip.
Do you think that this has the potential of overturning the results?
It depends on what facts they find. It depends on whether they find credible evidence of fraud, what extent, if they do find evidence of fraud, to what extent the fraud occurred and to what extent that impacted the results in any particular state. That is a factual question that I think shouldn't be decided based on internet and Twitter rumors.
So these audio recordings, you saw it right there, are from January 2nd, 2021. And it's not like they just came up with these fanciful plans and, didn't actually act on them. Like, they acted on these plans. They tried to effectuate these plans on January 6th. And the way they did that was Ted Cruz and all these other MAGA Republicans objected to the certification of the results of the 2020 election. They all objected to it. And so by objecting to it and continuing to object to it, delay, it became clear that former Vice President Mike Pence was not going to certify the fake electoral slates, or that former Vice President Mike Pence was not going to say, look, there's been a lot of objections here and I'm not able to certify the results. That's what they were trying to encourage him to do. And Pence wouldn't do that. Pence ultimately followed the law. I mean, I know Pence wants to brag about that all the courage he showed. I mean, he followed what the law is in the face of all these other treasonous MAGA Republicans. So then what do? Okay. Unleash the insurrection, hang Mike Pence, go after Mike Pence because he's actually counting the real electoral votes for Biden. So go hang Mike Pence. That's what they were encouraging to do. Disgusting. They then encouraged the violence of the insurrectionists to try to then further delay the process. And then what these MAGA Republicans wanted to do is then throw it to the state legislatures and then basically have Pence say, look, we can't certify the results. That's why Pence and McConnell and Schumer and Pelosi, they were like, look, we got to count these votes tonight, because the plan was to derail the day of January 6th, throw it to state legislatures that were controlled by MAGA Republican senators, and let them basically, or a commission, and let them just say, hey, Donald Trump won, Biden didn't win. We're electing Trump and not Biden, and we don't care what the real results are. That was the plan. And here you have Ted Cruz telling you the plan. It's in a pre-interview. He didn't think this was going to be aired publicly, but thankfully Abby Grossberg kept the tapes. She kept the receipts. Special Counsel Jack Smith's got his hands on these now. So lawyer up, Ted Cruz. It's really despicable stuff, man. These are traitors. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers. Help us get there by this summer. We're on our way to 1.5 million subs. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Also, wherever you get audio podcasts, subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast. It's free. All right, hit subscribe on our YouTube channel. It's free. Have a great day.
Love this video? Then you'll love the MeidasTouch podcast. Listen as my brothers and I break down the latest news and chat with top political leaders on the fastest growing pro-democracy podcast in the world. New episodes drop every Tuesday and Friday. Add the MeidasTouch podcast right now wherever you listen to your podcasts.